All right, I'm Tanya Nichols, the Director of Member Services with Meet the Need, and we are co-hosting a webinar today with Serve Florida and Jim Fubister. And this is our second webinar. We did one, recorded one last week. And today what we are going, well actually last week, what we watched that webinar, it's just a quick, I think like a 25-minute webinar, but we talk about the vision of Meet the Need, all the modules that are offered to Meet the Need, and then we went through the first 4 steps of really getting started with using Meet the Need, and that was to register your organization, a little dashboard overview. We went through a couple of website examples from churches and nonprofits, and then I went through how to set up and show needs on your website through setting up your templates and copying and pasting links. So definitely go back and watch that webinar. Jim Fubister has that recording. And then today what we're going to talk about is kind of go on to the next steps of posting needs through your dashboard, reporting through your dashboard, and managing volunteers, and even if we have time, we'll touch on creating events, because I know a lot of organizations have that need as well. So let's get started. Jim, do you want to add anything before we get started?
No, Tanya, no, this is good. It's been very helpful. Thanks.
Awesome. All right. The first part of Meet the Need that you want to do as an organization is to register, and you can register at Serve Florida. They have a great button at the bottom right-hand corner of their website that says Join Us, and then on that page you can learn a little bit about the partnership between Meet the Need and Serve Florida, and there's a button to get started, and if you choose Quick Start, you're going to be taken into a process just like this on the screen, where in less than 10 minutes you'll be able to register with Meet the Need and get access to all the modules, and we recommend that you just choose all the modules to begin with, and you'll have them all on your dashboard in less than 10 minutes. So there's a quick video within that 10 minutes to watch, and then there's more videos available later. Here's a quick view of your dashboard once your organization registers that you'll have access to. If you're not going to use the International Missions module, that's okay. You can minimize that just so it doesn't clutter your dashboard. But whatever modules you plan to start using, leave those maximized. And then we highly recommend that you go to the training button on that dashboard and watch some of the training videos. There are a few, 3 of them that have little orange asterisks by them. Those are the ones that we recommend watching first, and then as you're going to use other features of Meet the Need, you can watch the other short videos. I don't think any one of them is more than like 20-25 minutes, so they're very short videos that will get you started. There's also a help button I want to draw your attention to. If you go into that help button, there are archived webinars that we do every month with Meet the Need, and each webinar is about 45 minutes to an hour, and they really dive deeper into the different modules of Meet the Need. So if you want more than just the quick 6-minute video on something, then definitely go watch the webinars on a specific topic, and you'll really become immersed in what all you can do within that module of Meet the Need. Last week on the webinar, we talked about showing needs on your website. Go back and take a look at that, and we'll show you, we showed you a sample ministry, church, and even Serve Florida site on how you can set up Meet the Need very easily to show needs on your website, and also to get the links to make that happen. All right, today we're going to talk about posting needs. Now there are, oh, my circle's off a little bit on there, but we're going to talk about posting needs. There are 2 ways that you can post needs. Well, actually, there's more than 2 ways, but we're going to focus on 2 today. One is the Volunteer and Goods Management module, and one is through events. We're going to start with the Volunteer and Goods Management module, and these are the needs that you would be posting for your organization that are ongoing needs or general needs. They're not for an event that has a specific day and time that it starts and ends, but more, you know, we need someone to come help at the help desk, or we need people to serve even within the church, you know, ushering, or we have an ongoing need for items for our organization, or we need people to come out every Tuesday and serve a meal. But they're more the ongoing and general needs. So let's start with that, because that's the majority of the type of needs that are posted for organizations. What you will do is go to the Volunteer and Goods Management, go to the Post Needs for Volunteers or Goods, and you'll be taken to a screen where you'll choose the type of need you're posting. You'll be choosing whether it's a goods need or volunteer need, and then the category and subcategory. We have hundreds of not hundreds, we've got many categories, and then under those categories, several subcategories. So if I choose, let's say, home and neighborhood improvement, my highlighting's off just a little bit there, but if I choose home neighborhood improvement, some subcategories for that is agricultural community garden, home and property improvement, neighborhood cleanup, repairs and plumbing. So each category has detailed subcategories. So pick the category and subcategory that best fits your need. It may not be exact, and that's okay, but it's in general how volunteers can search for needs in the system based on their skills or passions or abilities to be able to serve or give. So choosing your category and subcategory, and then the next page, which is the last page that you fill out to post a need, is the post a need page, where you would put in the description of your need, and you can use HTML coding if you want to bold it or highlight it or change colors, or if you want to put in a link. If you type http:// then the system will recognize that that is a link that you want to include, and it'll change that hyperlink or that URL that you put in there to a hyperlink that says click here when that need is posted. So you'd put in your description, how many volunteers you need, any resources and materials that the volunteer needs to know about ahead of time. Maybe you're going to provide some training, or maybe you want them to wear closed-toed shoes. It's kind of additional information that they need. If we have activated the age range and campus for you, maybe you're a church with multiple campuses, let us know and we can activate these fields for you, but this is not active on all organizations as they first register. We also have a way that you can post needs by the type of need. So you're going to choose whether it's a one-time need on one day at one particular time, or you're going to choose that it's a recurring need, maybe every Tuesday and Wednesday, or it's an open-ended need where you don't really care when the volunteer comes to serve. Maybe you need a ramp built for somebody, but they can come do it on their own time. Then you would post that as an open-ended need. But all needs have a need by date or an expiration date so that they fall off the system when that need date is passed or when they've been filled, so that all needs within the system are always up to date or current. The display status, if you choose active, it will show on your website if you put links on your website, and the websites of other churches if you've chosen right away. Or you might post needs to begin with, maybe a month out from your from when you need volunteers, and you can make them inactive, and then whenever you're ready to make them active, you can go in and edit and change it to active. So you have control over that. If it's inactive, the need won't show on any website. The view status is where you choose the type of need that it is and who you want to view that need. If it's public, it will show on your organization's website through the links you put on, and through other organizations' websites that are showing needs through Meet the Need. If it's semi-private, it will only show on your website. So things that you only want your church members to see and not other church members, then you would choose semi-private. Members only is kind of the third tier for more private needs, where maybe you're going to have a team of volunteers that go and visit people in the hospital, and you want to post a need that Miss Jones is in the hospital, but you don't want everybody to see that, obviously, because that's private information. You can post a members only need, and the email will only go to the team of those volunteers, and they'll have to log in first before they're going to see that need. So it provides a couple of levels of security there for those really private type needs. And then when you hit post, the need will be posted and you'll be able to see it in your reports. Speaking of reports, to go see your reporting, you're going to go to View Volunteer Needs Reports. Very simple. All you have is two buttons: Post Needs, See Reports. There are 4 different kinds of reports. I'm going to walk through each of them real quick. One is the needs report, where you can see all the needs that you've posted for your organization. You can search by keyword, by status, by visibility, by active and inactive, by category and subcategory, and even by date. All of this information can be exported too. If you want to export it to an Excel document and manipulate it further, maybe send it on to somebody through an email, you can do that. On this needs report, you can also edit any need that you've posted. You can duplicate a need and make changes to it if you're going to do several needs of the same type. And you can go to the commitments and see who's committed to that need so far, and even add a commitment or edit a response of someone who's already committed. So quite a bit of activity that you can do through this report based on searching it by the need that you posted. We also have a commitment report where those that have committed to your needs, you can search by name, by category and subcategory, by date, and also whether those commitments are pending or completed. This report is also exportable, and there's a report button up here in the top right-hand corner that gives you some visual reporting on what's happening with the commitments that are coming through your organization. So you can get a line graph and see, when volunteers are serving and what that looks like, over time. You can get a summary of the number of hours that volunteers are serving and how many those are. And these are great reports to be able to report up to leadership or even to your board, and really start to get some metrics and to start to track the success and measurement of the projects that you're doing. And then there's a pie chart too, where you can see what categories or subcategories your members or volunteers are serving in, to get a heartbeat of where their heart is and what types of needs they're fulfilling. Any questions so far?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right, let's keep going. This is the daily report. Now, the daily report I like to describe is kind of a combination of the needs report and the commitment report all together. This report shows you who is coming on a particular day to serve with your organization. Here, again, you can sort by keyword, by status, by date. You can export it, you can print it, you can even add a commitment here from this screen. You can see who's coming and get details on those individuals on any particular day, and you can edit the need from this report, and you can even edit their commitment responses. So really just about everything that you could do from the needs and commitment reports, you can also do in this combined daily report. And then we have the real-time report. If you're taking advantage of Meet the Needs volunteer check-in process, you can see who is currently checked in to serve on a particular day with your organization. And if that's at multiple campuses, you can see who's checked in at what campuses. And you can check out those volunteers as well, and it will record the exact time that they served to get a more accurate timing of, or a more accurate tracking of the hours that they're serving. And then you can even not only see who's active at the current moment, but even look at the historical tab and see who's checked in the past. So a great resource there if you're using our volunteer check-in module. Managing volunteers. We just talked about reporting and all the reporting that you have, but let's take a look at the volunteer part of Meet the Need. If you go to My Account, there's a whole section called Member Status. When members adopt a need of your organization, they're going to come in as pending members, and you can go in and approve them, and they will move to the Approved Members page. Let's take a look at that Approved Members page. From there, every person that is listed is hyperlinked. So if you click on that hyperlink, you're actually going to get a volunteer profile for each member or volunteer of your organization. Here, as an admin or key contact, you can update their contact information. You can even put in their occupation and interest. Maybe you had a new member class and you collected some of that information and you want to put that information in here. You can track their occupation and interest and run reports on that. You can also go in and track maybe the training they've attended. Maybe they've attended an orientation or something, or maybe a background check that you want to track that, when you pulled that, you can do that. Groups, it tracks what groups they're a part of as they are signing up for groups to serve, and teams that they are a part of as they are assigned to certain teams within the church or within the ministry. And then of course there's a history tab where you can go and see all of the volunteer history and get a total of the hours served for that particular individual. So quite a bit of management of volunteers through this volunteer profile. You can go as deep as you want or stay as shallow as you want, but the information's there for you to view and manipulate. You can also, on this Approved Members page, search for a particular member and even export all of your members and assign them to, this is grayed out right now, but you can assign them to certain teams through this report as well. Any questions before we dive into events?
So Tanya, in a local church, this is Chaplain Tom, I could have under this volunteer profile each of my Sunday school classes.
You can. It wouldn't be under the volunteer profile. It would track it in the profile. But what you would do, let me back up and I'll show you where that is. If you go to My Account under your church dashboard, this is where it's called Teams. And I encourage you to watch the, I think it's like a 5-minute video on how to create teams. But here is where you would add a new team. And you can create teams and then assign certain volunteers to those teams and have maybe a key contact over that team that you want to empower and delegate. And that team leader would have their own dashboard looking almost just like your church dashboard, but it's just for their team to post needs, see reports, and manage volunteers for just their team. But they won't see the church dashboard because they can only see what you've assigned them to as a key contact.
So you can literally keep track of all your Sunday school classes, all your committees, all your new member classes with this feature.
Exactly. As it relates to their serving activity, yes.
Great. Okay. Thank you. And then going way back on the very first window you showed, it said miles, and I was trying to figure out what those miles related to.
Right here?
Way down, yeah, distance.
Yeah, when you are posting a need, you're going to pick the category and subcategory, and there is a miles radius. Right. All of Meet the Need is focused by location, because obviously people don't want to see needs in Venice, Florida, for needs out in San Diego, California.
Sure. So is it 25 miles from your church or 25 miles from Jim, or?
It'll be 25 miles or whatever miles you pick from wherever that need is to be completed.
So from your church, Tom. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're posting needs for them to serve at your church, you would put your church zip code there.
Okay.
The exciting part, Tom, and you picked up on it right away, the exciting part of what this does is if I'm an administrator, I can put everybody in my church in the profile, right? Get all the profile information. And then if we have an event and we want to invite them to a team or put them on a team so that you're heading up a team inside your church, we can actually put them in all that information into your team and invite them to do that. So there's 3 or 4 different ways to use it. So it becomes pretty valuable when you want to engage it. And I thought the fact that you could put their occupation in. So if you're an administrator and you needed somebody that was a plumber, you could find one. A painter, you could find one. So somebody that does home health care, and you have somebody in your church that needs home health care, you can actually start coordinating through your members. So there's some really advantages that we've never had when we've been organizing. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Great question. All right, well, let's dive into events since we have a few minutes, and I know that events is another big module of Meet the Need that a lot of our churches and ministries use. The events module you'll want to use if you have an event that has a beginning and an end date. It might be a one-day event, it might be a weekend or a few weeks event, but there's a beginning and an end date, and you want to advertise those needs to your members or volunteers, maybe through a separate link, and say, hey, click here for our City Serve Day or whatever it may be, and they can see the needs just for that event, but not necessarily see the needs from all of the community needs that are posted, through Serve Florida and through your organization. So let's go into create an event. Very simple. Again, it's the same kind of buttons. Create event, view reports. We try to keep the dashboard simple for you. But to create an event, it is a one-page form where you put in the name of the event, the description of the event. If you want to upload a logo or an image, you can. And then you're going to create categories for your goods and your volunteers. Now these categories really depend on how your event is organized. If your event maybe is happening across town in several different locations, your categories may be based on location. You know, the north part of town, the south part of town, the east, the west, or different neighborhoods or parts of town. You could also create your categories based on skills. Maybe you're going to have some projects where they're painting, another project where they're cleaning, another project where they're doing yard work. So you can create those categories based on skills. You can also create categories based on, I'm drawing a blank, let's see, skills, location, or maybe you're working with different organizations and you want to create needs for, you know, go serve at the nursing home or go serve at the local homeless shelter. You can create categories for that. So really what you want to consider when you're creating categories is what is the most prevalent way that your members or volunteers will probably want to search for those types of needs that you're doing for that particular event. They already have the ability to search by date and shift, but this will give them a third way to search by category. So you would create those and then create event. And once you create an event, if you go back to your dashboard and go to view events, then you're going to get a summary of the events that you've created. And from that summary, there's a post a need button and a create link button. If you post needs for that event, you'll want to go back in and say, okay, I created my categories for painting and cleaning and whatever. Now I'm going to go back in and post my painting needs and post my cleaning needs for the particular days and times. Once you post those needs, it looks just like the page that we looked at before for posting needs. But then you can go in and create a link. And when you create a link, there'll be a pop-up that will come up, and you just simply copy and paste the URL in that link or in that pop-up, and then you will paste that link to your website that says, you know, CityServe event needs, or you can put that link in emails, in newsletters, in social media posts, to, you know, quote, advertise that event in a lot of different venues, and then people can sort that event by the days, the shift times, and the categories that you have. So it creates a more focused link and a more focused way to manage your event. When you create an event, it does create a separate dashboard, like here's the acts of service event. And so when you go to your church dashboard or ministry dashboard, you can move to the acts of service event, and you'll have the same reports that you had for your main dashboard for your event. So the reporting is, you know, that depth of reporting copies over for the events for you to be able to track those events efficiently and effectively.
Tanya, could you please go to Serve Florida, and we have the events posted, and the fact that it's got a Google map attached to it is pretty fantastic.
Yep. Do you have it under I Want to Help?
Yep. If you go under I Want to Help, there's food drives coming up on May 14th for both Northport and Venice. So if you're, just to let everybody know, this is I did it, so it couldn't have been that hard. But actually, it's pretty amazing. I know it preloads to this, so I didn't know if you wanted to discuss offline why it's preloading.
Yeah,
there we go.
We'll close that gap there. There's a lag happening, but I'll be sure to close that gap for you. But yeah, here's your two events that you posted, Jim. So,
so if you wanted to,
if they want a link, like just to the Venice drive or just to the Northport drive, you can send them a link to just one of those events.
Right.
You click more.
Okay.
And this is what the search page looks like for the event.
There we go.
Where
and it has the time. Yeah.
Yep. Sort by shift, by time, or sort by date if
driver
there's multiple
helpers,
days.
Yeah, driver helpers, drivers, food sorters, how many people you need, and so you can sign up and bring 10 people if you wanted. And then for location, where's the Google map? I think if you hit one, it'll give you the location. If you click, like say,
if you want to do driver helpers and you click next on, oh wait, I must be logged in. Let me log out.
So it actually has a Google map. So it'll tell you what church to go to. It'll tell you when, what hours, everything else. So it's a very, very complete system. So
yeah, on the details of that need, it will show you the contact information and a Google map. Let me go back into there for you so you can see it.
You had a question, Tom?
Yes, thank you very much. When you have an event and you're informing those people who would be likely to be part of that event, are they informed by email and text or just email?
Just email at the moment, but we are looking over the summer to add a text option where when they register, they'll choose, I want email and text, or email or text, and put in their cell phone and their provider, and then we'll start to communicate by text as well. All right, so if I click next. Oh, well, Jim, why are the details not coming up?
I saw it when I put it in, but did I put it in the wrong place? Could you hit just the event?
Let me click.
It listed the church. Yeah, it listed the church. There it is. Yeah, good walking shoes.
Yeah, there's where you put your data. There's the address. We're actually, I'm going to take a look at your template because there is a page that should be showing. When I click this next button, it's that shows the details with the church information. Oh, no, here it is right here. We're on this. It's up at the top. It's combining the two pages. Okay. So you've got the Serve Florida Nokomis, details and about. And if you go to the details and about, right there's your event map and directions.
Ah, details and about.
Yep. So it's showing.
If you say it Canadian, yeah, if it says it in Canadian, then it works. If you say it in American,
about. So yeah, it's there. There's the need details up here, and then below, if they're interested in actually committing to that need, then they either log in or create an account.
Thank you, Tanya.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me go back to my PowerPoint. All right, so it's easy to communicate those event needs through the links, through multiple websites, and through multiple avenues for your members and volunteers to be aware of the needs that are needed for a particular event. Keep in mind, in general, with Meet the Need, you're the face to the community. The church, Serve Florida, the ministries in the area are the face. The typical volunteer does not see Meet the Need anywhere. We're behind the scenes. Really, the only people in a community that know about Meet the Need are church administrators and ministry administrators. But the volunteer, everything stays on the website of the church or of the ministry, so that the volunteer, as they are committing to needs and adopting needs and getting reminders, they're staying connected to the local church and to the local ministry so that they can be led closer to Christ and more connections are made locally. What Meet the Need costs? Nothing, but we do ask that every church and ministry prayerfully consider a gift to meet the need. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, so we rely on gifts and donations. We don't want any Christian organization to be precluded from using Meet the Need. So all organizations get all of our modules from the get-go, whether you give or not, but it's all provided for you. The next steps, just to recap, you want to register your organization at serveflorida.com. They have a Join Us button, Get Started, and then Quick Start, and it's less than 10 minutes to register your organization. Mary, I think you can attest to that. You did that just last week, right?
Right.
Then you'll want to go through the training, watch some of the online video tutorials. If you just take less than 30 minutes, you can learn quite a bit about the dashboard and what all you can do. 3 and 4, you want to go through the setup of your template and your web page, and that's what we talked about on the last webinar. You can begin posting needs, looking at reporting, managing your volunteers, and even creating and managing your events right away. And then, of course, as you start to use Meet the Need, we want you to share with other partner churches and ministries so that the city can be connected and you can help with fulfilling the vision and mission of Serve Florida, which is, to unite the city together. And this is your member services team at Meet the Need. Here's myself, Tanya, and Maurice Jackson. We're always available to answer any questions you have. Jim Fubister has also become very educated in Meet the Need. So if you have any questions locally and you want to talk to him, you can. But we're available anytime as well.
Tanya, so everybody on the line, to Mary's point, as we started, should I be, would everybody like me to send the link after Tanya sends me to record, because you could share this and it gives some good explanation. Would that be helpful if you're trying to have a discussion with somebody in your church or one of your nonprofits that you work with?
Yes, and last weeks or months, the first one I missed, so I'd love to have that one too.
Okay, and then feel free to share that. So we all know that this is the answer, because the churches keep their autonomy. The church ministries inside each church register themselves so that they are on the need page of Serve Florida, so that they can get some light shined on their ministry inside the churches. So the First Christian signs up, and then the First Christian Food Bank signs up. Right, the Bridge Church signs up, but then also the Bridge Church Starfish signs up, so that you can have multiple ministries inside your church that are trying to serve the community be available to anybody looking for help as well. So there's some learning processes that we're going through. I appreciate everybody online here trying to get a handle on the best way to incorporate that into their ministries and churches and also their friends, because you know, it's a small community. We know so many people that have a heart for Christ, and I believe this Meet the Need system is something that's going to complement what they do.
Jim, as you know, at First Christian, we're in the middle of a lot of change, and so having the information available would be very helpful to us as we continue to weed through what we're doing. Because right now it's almost virtually impossible for me to get the people that I need together because they're working on other things. But having that information would be very helpful.
Fantastic, Mary. I'll be glad to forward that to you. Thank you for everything you did. You did a great job with the kids. The school principals all say thank you to the group, and you guys had a big part of that. So thank you for helping meet the need back in February. And when the time is right, when things, you know, the snowbirds go back, maybe you and I can sit down with some of the people at First Christian and review it together, because I really do know that this is where the heart of First Christian is. It's just a matter of implementation.
Yes, it is. It's a matter of us getting organized.
It's all in God's timing.
Yeah. Amen to that. Amen to that.
All right, Jim. Well, I appreciate everyone joining, and look forward to working with you guys. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact Jim or myself at any time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all have a blessed day.
Hey,
oh, go ahead.
Robbie, are you there? Well, I was curious. Oh, hey, buddy. Well, what are you thinking?